Cast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good morning. I am Danita Yetter, a financial advisor with Government Employees Benefit Association, and we're going to start our broadcast at 10 o'clock. I want to give a quick shout out thank you to Janita Porter and her service group for coordinating today's programs. Good morning. I am Danita Yetter, a financial advisor with Government Employees Benefit Association, better known as GEBA. I am your presenter for today's topic, how to make the most of what you make. To start, we want to thank the Work Life Service Group and Employee Program Group, as well as Janine Porter and her team for coordinating today's programs. At GEBA, we believe that financial education is invaluable. This topic is near and dear to my heart. It is why I chose to become a financial advisor. My mission is helping people understand the foundational skills of building wealth. Today is a full day, so if time allows, we'll answer some questions at the end. However, all questions will be answered via email in the next couple of days. Additionally, you can contact GEBA with specific questions. So before we begin, here are some fun facts about us. GEBA is a nonprofit membership association founded by NSA employees in 1957. We are governed by a volunteer board of federal employees. GEBA is trusted by nearly 17,000 members, and we serve all federal employees to include retirees, military, and sponsored family members. GEBA provides personalized service by our staff experts. There is no charge for a consultation and no obligation. Our staff hold designations that specialize in understanding your federal benefits. Membership is free, whether you enroll in a plan or service, and GEBA is distinguished by personalized service, negotiated group rates, and discounts. When working with GEBA, our insurance and financial programs help you insure, plan, and invest for yourself and those you care about. We're aligned with highly rated partners, and better yet, GEBA's suite of products and services are tailored to your unique needs, designed to complement those federal benefits. Let's get started. Today, we're going to cover 7 steps that are key to getting your financial house in order. First, getting a read on our current economic climate, knowing your net worth, understanding your credit scores, knowing where your money goes, figuring out ways to reduce your discretionary spending, increasing take-home pay, and making smarter financial choices. Those are decisions that will pay off both now and down the road. The best way to describe the economic outlook is, well, cautiously optimistic in the short term. As you can see from this chart, it's been a good run, but how long can it last? Each of the pundits have their answers, but housing prices have been fueled by historically low interest rates. and low supply. Inflationary concerns are noted in the short term around 5%, but economic opinions are mixed for the long term. Tax laws are currently corporation friendly, and the states are attempting to reduce unemployment by eliminating federally sponsored unemployment benefits. Let's personalize this a bit more. Government employees are recovering from pay freezes and benefit increases, right? The COLA from about 2016 that you see on this chart was 0, as compared to the cost of healthcare that increased more than 6%, right? And if you look at the trend, it doesn't get any better even with those modest COLA increases. All right, so rather than focusing on these factors that are out of our personal control, let's focus on what we can control. And that is our net worth, our credit score and credit health, how much we spend, how much we save, and about those smarter choices going forward. First, let's look at your net worth. Now, net worth is simply how much do you own versus how much do you owe. So to find out, create a personal balance sheet showing you or your family's assets and liabilities. Assets are things such as cash, CD, valuable items like your car and your home. Liabilities include all debt in all forms, so mortgage, credit card, personal loans. Subtract your total liabilities from your total assets, and you have net worth. This can be humbling, and it's always really interesting. It's an exercise that really helps you develop like a laser-like focus on your personal finances. And GEBA has a tool on our website that makes determining your net worth easy. So just grab your banking and your investment statements, go to GEBA, look under calculators and net worth. Let's take a look at credit scores. Your credit score directly affects your ability to get a credit card, mortgage, auto loan, as well as the rates of interest that you're going to pay on these loans and even car insurance. And believe it or not, it influences rental rates and even employment. So credit scores are a way for a lender to judge their risks of lending to you. It's an algorithm of factors that produce a risk score. Those scores range from 350 to 850 points. With anything over 720 is considered excellent. Anything lower than 720 reflects a credit risk to the lender. All right, so let's look at the percentage of Americans at various credit scores, and let's look at the green chart on the left. When we look at the breakdown of the scores in the US, the great news is that over 40% of Americans have excellent credit. However, there remains some room for improvement because over 28% of people have a score of less than 620. So, again, room for improvement. On the purple chart to the right, it shows the generational management of credit. Each age group does a little bit better than the one before, and that's not much of a surprise here. But the best part is the change from 2019 to 2020. It shows each generation managed debt better, even during these pandemic challenging times. All right, let's get down to it. What determines your credit score? Well, the keys to a high score are, number one, a history of making on-time payments. That's 35% of your total score. So set up those accounts for automatic payments. Number two, the amount and type of outstanding debt you owe is 30% of your score. So think you lower the balance relative compared to your credit limit gives you the higher score. So if you're keeping credit card debt under 25% of your maximum allowable credit, it's going to boost your score and it's ideal. Other factors, length of time you've had the same accounts open. Okay, that's about 15% of your score. the number and factors of types of credit, and the recent number of credit applications. Think of those store cards. That's worth about 10% of your score, right? And the mix of credit you have, credit cards, bank loans, department stores, that makes up the other 10% of your score. Something to note here. So more than 3 recent hard credit card checks negatively affects your score, right? So you want to consider this for when you're shopping for a lender. You want to get down to like that, maybe 1 or 2 that you're really interested in. All right. A good score can have banks competing for your business when you apply for a loan, right? And a bad score may mean that you don't qualify for your auto loan, your mortgage, or your credit card. Or let's say if you do, you may be only offered higher rates, which is going to cost you extra money every month. Rates right now are historically low, but on this chart you can see the difference between having really good credit at 760 for a mortgage and okay credit at 660 can cost you an average of $106 a month. That's $1,272 a year. All right, so let's put this in terms of your entire 30-year mortgage. That's $38,137 that you're paying extra for the difference in those scores. The website myfico.com is run by the government, or excuse me, the company that created FICO score. And it has some great information about FICO and the impact on your monthly interest payments. Okay, so it's important to review your credit score yearly, right? And to get your credit report, it's free. Visit annualcreditreport.com, and there's a number that you can even call on their site. This website and phone number have been set up with the 3 national consumer reporting companies, and those, for you to know, is TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. Now, they must, by law, provide you with a free copy of your report every 12 months. And this allows you to correct any errors and do what is needed to clean up your report before shopping for a loan. So if you are correcting a mistake, make sure to check back in about 30 days to about 6 weeks to see if it's been fixed. And as a strategy, you can check one company quarterly, right? But you've got to be careful on these sites too, as there are opportunities to buy other associated services. And you don't want to be unintentionally committing yourself to something. So here's a pro tip though, before you start, make sure to have all of your financial documents handy. And that's things like your bank statements with monthly payments. And the reason for this is so you can answer the security questions. Otherwise, it may reject you from doing that form of inquiry and force you to do a paper-based inquiry instead. All right, so on to knowing where your money goes. All right, you can't create a budget or a spending plan until you know where your money goes. So set aside a few hours or so, queue up those bank and credit card statements, and you're going to look at the past 4 to 6 months, sometimes a year, and get those infrequent items like tax bills, insurance, auto, home repairs, and home receipts. Like let's get to work. So that's for the point when you start a budget. A budget is simply taking your monthly fixed expenses, prorating your estimated variable expenses, like those taxes or those auto repairs, and then you subtract them from your joint income. And this is going to help you see where your money goes, help you identify opportunities to reduce expenses. From there, you can set realistic saving targets, ground rules for discretionary spending, and that's that extra money. And these results are going to surprise you. Just like net worth, it can be an eye-opening to see what you spend your money on. I have some personal experience from way back when I was first starting out as a young adult. I was stationed overseas. I was stationed in Italy. And my monthly budget revealed that I really had a penchant for buying Italian wine, and it was making a bit of a dent. So I was surprised that it wasn't the fashion, it was the wine. All right, GEBA has an Excel spreadsheet. It's a tool on our website that can help do the heavy lifting for you, see where your money is going. GEBA offers 2 links. So it's the Excel spreadsheet, or if you prefer, a PDF. All right, and also in these modern days, if you prefer, there are a number of apps that make tracking your expenses quite easy. They do budget, checkbook management, right? That's like keeping track of the money in your account, and money tips. Some have a modest fee, but there are several free apps and online budgeting software programs that are available to help. It helps you take control of that spending. So for example, on myspendingplan.com, it helps you track down how much money comes in and how it needs to be allocated to meet expenses. Prepare for unexpected expenses. Reduce debt and reach your savings goals. Like another one is mint.com, that's quite popular. It automatically categorizes all of your purchases to show you how much you're spending on gas, groceries, rent, restaurants, and more. This allows you to chart trends in your spending patterns and help you set up budgets so that you can work on spending less in those target areas. Here are some words of wisdom. When you're setting up that budget, sort them into 3 categories. Need to have, like rent, copays, nice to have, and other unnecessary things. As you sort through, remember the words of the broadcaster Tavis Smiley, who said, "People spend money they don't have on things they don't want to impress people they don't even like." And Tavis is right. Keeping up with the Joneses really is the fast lane to financial fatality. Another way to increase your earnings that some people have turned to, they've taken their hobbies into a second income. From teaching lawn care to driving for Uber or Lyft, these side hustles can really help you. I have a military spouse that's a friend of mine, and she worked for a food delivery app. She set her food delivery route specifically on military bases, and she could set her hours and the location she wanted to drive. Freelancing is more common now, and sites like 5RR.com allows you to put your name out there. Another way that you can increase those earnings is by unloading unused things. And those belongings in your attic and basement, they can be a gold mine. So sort out that sporting equipment and sell it back to Play It Again Sports. Get rid of those old clothes in your closet or the clothes your kids no longer wear. Take them to a physical or virtual consignment shop. Same thing with old furniture. You know, these earnings, right, that money you get, it's typically not taxable, and you get rid of the clutter. And it can save you money on rental storage space if you use that. I mean, did you know that 1 in 10 Americans have so much stuff that they're renting storage space? What you don't sell, that can be donated to a charitable cause. You get a tax write-off for the value of those goods. The concept of bartering is really popular right now. I have a few friends that did that. Sites like uexchange.com can help you trade items you don't need for items that you do. And if you're looking to save money on services like auto and home repair, try Swap-A-Skill. Those with a little extra room in their house, you may want to rent out that space, bring in some added income. Right now, you can even rent out your car. So let's talk about using that tax refund wisely. If you do get like a windfall, like a large tax refund, what should you do with it? Well, pay off that debt, of course. So how do you do that? Concentrate on paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first, and that usually means credit cards. Paying off credit card debt It's like earning about 20+% on your money. And that's a better investment than a lot of others in the short term. Car loans generally come in second. Pay off the mortgage last because it often has the lowest interest rate, and in most cases, it's tax deductible. Debt reduction can have a wonderful stress-reducing effect, and it can add to the quality of your life. All right, other financially friendly things to do with your tax refund. You can make a contribution to that IRA account. You can fill in gaps in insurance coverage. You can build college savings, add money to your emergency fund, and boost it up so you have at least 6 months of worth of expenses saved. You can also invest in improving your home's energy efficiency, right? It saves you money on your monthly bills, and you can write it off. Another way to decrease spending, look at your home. Many of us grew up in smaller homes with less stuff than we have now, but we feel compelled at the time to buy houses that were larger because that's what others in our social circle were doing. Quite frankly, that was the housing trend. Today, we're seeing a trend now away from those big trophy houses because for some, that trophy has become an albatross or a money pit. A house is often the largest asset that people have, and downsizing at the right time can unlock its value. Those tens of thousands of dollars per year are being spent on mortgage payments, property taxes, house maintenance, right? They could be better invested elsewhere, like paying off debt, saving for retirement, or a child's college tuition. And generally speaking, big expensive homes are not the best investment. And that's because the gain in the value by holding the home is reduced by the home's carrying costs. What's more, you miss out on the opportunity to earn additional income on appreciation through other investments. So current mortgage rates are historically low for both purchase and refinance. And for some, it might make sense to even switch to a 15-year rate right now, so you could pay off a little sooner at a reduced rate. Don't forget to ask your lender to modify your rate as an option. The biggest slice, though, of a typical household's energy is the heating and cooling, and that makes the biggest dent in one's budget. If you cut your heating and cooling bills by using a programmable thermostat, you can set the temperature as high as you can tolerate it in the summer and as low as possible in the winter. Program that thermostat for greater energy savings when you're sleeping or when you're away from the house. So it's been said that every degree you set your air conditioning above 72 degrees will save you 3 to 5% on your energy bill. I mean, you'll make a bigger dent if you reduce the solar gain too by closing your curtains from those sun-drenched windows during the day. Other hacks, you can use your dishwasher's air dry option or turn it off, crack the door during the final rinse. And you can save on hot water, so you switch from the hot wash, the warm rinse on your washing machine, set it to warm cold, cold cold. And right now there really are better cold water detergents available. So don't know if you've seen those commercials. And if you do need to replace or add an appliance, look for that Energy Star model. A quarter of homes already have an energy-sucking second refrigerator tucked away in the garage or the basement. And the utility companies may offer you an incentive to remove it, may even pay to take it away from you. Way back in the day, I had a wine refrigerator that was costing me an additional $10 a month when it was plugged in. Furthermore, you can stop the drain of those vampire appliances, and that's the ones that are like the TV and the computers and those chargers that use energy even when they're turned off. You can unplug those devices you don't need, combine them into a single power strip, and then you can turn them off and on when you really need them. If you're looking for a few more tips, energy.gov is a great way to get information on ideas on how to save energy and money. So let's talk more about your home. To decrease spending, let's follow some maintenance and guidelines for your home and even your car. Spending money for that oil change is much less expensive than shelling out $1,500 for a major repair. Furthermore, check through those subscription services, cable bills if you still have them. Are you paying for a TV you never watch? How about that service that sounded great at the time, but you forgot to turn it off as a free trial? I did that a few times. You can adjust the plans that you like to maybe cost less. For example, Netflix allows different prices for like 1, 2, and 4 devices. Are there other options that make more sense for your realistic spending use? Same thing with phone service. Take a look at your plan. Does your plan fit your needs? See where you can eliminate or combine packages and services so that way you can benefit your family members and save. Another way you can realize substantial savings is insurance. So shop for insurance every couple of years as both your needs and your rates may change. Under home insurance, ask for all the discounts. Ask. Increase the deductible. It reduces the premium if you have the money set aside. If you rent, rental insurance is available and it's affordable. You can always notify your insurer about positive changes to your home, such as that new roof or the HVAC system. But be sure to read the fine print of your policy to see exactly what you're paying for. Think about that shed on your property, for example. It may be valued much more than what its actual replacement value is. And if you have services, you may want to add on items you want to cover, such as a sump pump that's extra and isn't included in perhaps a lower cost plan. For auto insurance, it's like home insurance. Ask for those discounts. Consider the deductible and consider the value of the car to be insured. If you have multiple policies and different insurers, you can save substantially by bundling under what's called a multi-asset discount. GEBA members are now eligible for a discount through Farmers for auto, home and renter, and other insurances. Lastly, umbrella insurance provides additional coverage beyond the limits of your home and auto insurance. We can help you with that. Another way to decrease spending, let's look to gas expenses because, well, it's on the rise. Keep trying to keep your speed under 60. So according to the U.S. Department of Energy, most cars' fuel efficiency peaks about 35 to 60 miles per hour, and it drops when you drive faster than that. And that's because, for you physics geeks out there, at higher speeds, the higher encounters more wind resistance against the car, and the tires meet more rolling resistance and therefore decreases fuel efficiency. A few other hacks: turn down that AC. By reducing the AC usage, you can save up to 15% on fuel, and use the vent setting instead. But just keep in mind that lowering your windows at speeds above 50 miles per hour increases the wind resistance, which negates the gain you get from shutting off that AC or turning it down. Another one, it's hard to do here in Maryland: lose the lead foot. You'll get better gas mileage and more life out of your car if you make smoother starts and stops. And it really does pay to compare gas prices. Even within small areas, prices can vary a lot, per gallon. So use an app. Even just 5 cents a gallon can have a 20-gallon tank. That's over $1 each time. And if you use warehouse memberships, it can pay for itself over time. As mentioned earlier, our cost of personal insurance premiums and out-of-pocket medical expenses are on the rise. Prices of health services vary widely from provider to provider. So by choosing doctors from your plan's preferred network, you can take advantage of those lower cost copays. Now, if you're sick and you can't get in to see your regular doctor, try to avoid the emergency room for any non-urgent care. Try another doctor in the practice or an in-network walk-in clinic instead. Consider buying your prescription medication through mail order, and you can use a mail order pharmacy, which lets you get a 90-day supply. You have to coordinate that with your doctor, though. And talk to your doctor about generic equivalent drugs or generic therapeutics. Another one is to open a flexible spending account so you can pay your medical expenses tax-free. We're going to talk more about flexible spending accounts later, but there are other commercial prescription savers such as GoodRx.com, and it beats noting. It's time to consider, is that high deductible plan really right for you? Okay, this quick chart talks more about cost savings by utilizing urgent care versus an ER trip. Again, non-life-threatening illnesses, when you can't see your doctor, can be met at urgent care. All right, to decrease spending, look to banking fees. Banks continue to lean on fees to make money. And as low interest rates and regulatory pressure has taken a bite of their profits. So look at ATM fees, overdraft fees, check fees. Lower or eliminate those bank fees on your checking account by maintaining a minimum balance, use direct deposit, and use bill pay. You can use credit cards to your advantage if you pay in full. It's much like getting 30-day interest-free loan. And you can shop for rewards and cash rebates depending on the purchase, such as cashback, travel rewards, and points. Automatic payments can be set up for minimums that don't allow you to have late fees. But there are cards now that have an annual fee, though. Just make sure you can pay off the balance every month, though, because the interest you'd owe could easily negate the savings. And as with store credit cards, if your cards are only encouraging you to spend more, you need to put them away, perhaps not have them at all. Okay, when it comes to shopping, sometimes you can get what you want, but not exactly when you want it. Everybody knows you can save up to 70% on clothing by shopping past the middle of the season. And you can get deeper discounts on some products by calendar. You can unlock savings through apps like Ibotta and free loyalty cards. These next two infographics are from Consumer Report, and they talk about when is the best price to find high-ticket items so you can shop and plan accordingly. Like, for example, in January, it's TVs and bedding. February's mattresses, sports gear. I mean, who knew carpets are the best bought in April, as well as computers? May is all about baby, and June gets into indoor furniture and sports gear. So think about those fall sports. In July, it's building decks. In August, they unload those air conditioners and start offering a discount on snow blowers. There's back-to-school items that even if you aren't shopping for school right now or don't have young kids, in September, lawnmowers and computers hit back to school. In the state of Maryland, there's tax-free shopping on clothing and footwear priced $100 or less. And the first $40 of that cost of that backpack is covered as tax-free. It's coming up here shortly, Sunday, August 8th through Saturday, August 14th. Now back into November, it's all about appliances with Black Friday. And did you know it's like Black Friday is a month long? December has the market on electronics for those up-and-coming wow gifts. All right, let's talk about help with clothing for you or your children. Quality brands can be found at thrift stores, secondhand boutiques, and virtual garage sales. And saving money can be easy if you remember to 1. Strategize. Know what you have in your closet and what you need. I do this with my kids throughout those different seasons. Simplify. Have a base of neutral colors you can mix and match. 3. Shop those sales. End of season sales, special shopping days, online discounts. 4, consider the maintenance of that garment. Right? Dry cleaning costs more money and it's expensive. So sign up for emails from various favorite stores for sales and coupons. And take a look. Some are even texted to you. And watch the temptations when you are shopping. Keep looking for those coupons. All right. Decreasing spending through groceries and gifts. So when it comes to groceries, study the weekly circulator so you're familiar with the pricing. Make a list, stick to it, and try not to go hungry. Those warehouse clubs like Costco and Sam's, we all know they allow you to buy items in bulk. But do you need to be members of all 3? Do the math. Does buying in bulk really save you that much more? When it comes to gifts, make life a little simpler. Maybe eliminate the number you buy. Often relatives are happy to pull names out of a hat or do a grab bag. And if there are people you routinely buy for, think ahead, so you don't have to pay more for that same item later on. And no joke, my neighbor just bought a special gift for a relative at fraction of the cost simply because it's summer. And if you know you're going to travel to a new destination, sign up for email alerts from online providers like Orbitz, Hotwire, Priceline. Price Hopper can tell you the best time to fly. Take advantage of frequent flyers, lodging, airport parking programs. But it's important to know the rules for that airline and the points. Are you paying more if your carry-on is oversized? You may have to do the measurements on your bag. If you're planning a favorite family vacation, look to travel options like roadscholar.com. It provides an educational travel organization that offers comfortable and inexpensive housing at colleges and universities, 90 countries worldwide. And this provides a variety of programs, and it's phenomenal. And it includes everything from traditional tours to bike trips to ocean liner cruises. Another way to travel for less, especially for extended stays, is to participate in a home exchange, where you trade homes with travelers who live in places that you'd like to visit. And 2 of the most popular home exchange programs are homeexchange.com and digsville.com. Another miscellaneous way to decrease spending is eating in rather than eating out. They said it would be healthier for your body as well as your wallet. Well, I said that during coronavirus. So you could just commit to eating 1 day a week, maybe at your desk if you're returning to work, and you could save that. So for example, let's say you ate in every Thursday and it's $8 for lunch. So you're eating in roughly 52 Thursdays a year. That's $416. So how about children's expenses, such as childcare, right? Extra activities, those birthdays, parties, and more. Let's not be tempted into overindulging our kids. Of all the lessons that we can teach our kids to survive and thrive in this world, the value of a dollar might just be one of the most important. A recent Journal of Consumer Affairs said that nearly 3 out of 4 Americans that are young adults between 23 and 28 really can't answer basic questions about economics and investing. We have an opportunity to pass these lessons on to our family, age-appropriate conversations, and you do that over time. You can look to see if those services that you charged for are actually being charged for correctly. Living frugally doesn't mean deprivation. Get to know your local library where you can check out the latest bestsellers, borrow that book or CD. You can do it for free. Consider what our fur babies cost us too. Exchange pet sitting with friends and neighbors. Look for low-cost vaccines at animal hospitals, pet stores, and shelters. On your earnings, check your wage and earnings statement. Double check you're being paid correctly. Make sure the correct amounts are being deducted for your health and other coverages. Make sure that they are being deducted pre-tax. Adjust as necessary for your withholding. Some people justify that large tax return as a forced savings. But really, that concept of forced savings isn't worth much if you can't control where it's kept, you can't invest it when you want to, and you don't have access to it if you need it. You can adjust your withholding at any time by submitting it to your new W-4 to your HR department at any time. And when you're doing taxes, you can take a look at it and adjust then. The IRS has a withholding calculator online. While we're on the subject of payroll deductions, I hope you're all taking advantage of that flexible spending account. It's important to note you can contribute money from your salary before the taxes are withheld and get reimbursed for your out-of-pocket expenses and dependent care expenses. How does it work? Let's say every time you go to the doctor, you have a $20 copay. You go 3 times a year. And you have prescriptions that are worth $100, let's say, every quarter. So that's $460 in known expenses, which you can use pre-tax dollars for and save. And this coincides with the November and December federal benefits open season. Right, small change adds up. You can tuck away small change that comes in your pocket in a jar. And when enough accumulates, put it in your account. Be surprised how quickly it adds up. What happens when you've got found money? What are you going to do with this found money is the better question. Well, you can invest it and make sure you're funding your retirement plan, or at least up to the FERS match. The first 3% of your salary you put in, the government puts in another 3%. And on the chart, you can see there's an automatic contribution of 1% and an agency match of the same amount. So for the next 2% of your salary, you set aside from 3 to 5%, FERS matches you 50 cents on the dollar. So all told, that's like getting 5% of your money, of your salary a year. So what's more, you don't pay taxes on this money until you take it out. So again, by putting in the full 5% by you, plus the match of 5% by the government, gives you 10% invested. Not bad. What to do now? All right? You should choose this money for an appropriately insured in all areas of life. Think about disability, home, autos, and that you should pay down your debt, starting with the highest interest rate loans first. Set aside retirement plans, such as TSP, your emergency fund, large purchases like a car, home improvement. And for your emergency fund, consider using online banks that have easy access. Discretionary spending is only what is left over, but that doesn't mean it has to be spent. It can be put into other saving goals if you want. All right, insurance. It comes in various forms. So know the value and make the most of your health insurance and your other coverage. Monthly premiums vary, but checkups and sick visits are quite expensive without insurance. Utilize those well visits. With carve-out benefits such as vision and dental, do the math. See if that plan is really a value for you. It's important to shop around. That same prescription for lenses and frames can vary from different stores. And does your vision plan restrict you to only use the more expensive participating providers? Long-term disability protects against unforeseen circumstances. 1 in 4 of today's 20-year-olds have a greater chance of becoming disabled sometime before they retire. The average long-term disability absence from work can last roughly 34 months. It's almost 3 years, according to the Council for Disability Awareness. It's a long time. Learn about the basics of long-term disability insurance, whether it's right for you. Life insurance, and it's designed to protect your family and your assets in case of the loss of your earning ability caused by death. Right? First up is term. It generally comes in fixed periods, 10, 20, 30 years. The point is to satisfy a specific finite need. Term insurance is used to cover the liability of a mortgage or the care and or the education of a child, and it is more cost effective than permanent insurance. Permanent insurance, that's the one, it's all in the name. It's to last your entire life. It guarantees a payout to your heirs. It can, depending what you buy, provide a cash value that can be used to supplement the cost of your insurance as you get older. Effectively, it creates level premiums. It's used for supplementing a survivor benefit plan, legacy planning, even special needs children. Again, it lasts as long as you live. It can be more expensive, and it can be structured to be paid throughout your life or in shorter time periods. Long-term care insurance, touched upon that before. Long-term care insurance, it benefits a person in the event he or she suffers from a prolonged physical illness, disability, cognitive impairment. It is designed to pay for assistance with daily living, home health care, respite care, hospice care, adult day care, nursing, or care in an assisted living facility. And this is because the care and the cost of the elderly falls on their families. So long-term care insurance helps ease that burden. It allows the elderly to receive necessary care and helping to avoid financial hardship. We're going to talk later seminars today on this topic in more depth. It's good to compare the federal long-term care plan and a customized plan. The LTCFED.com has an excellent website with prepackaged plans, customizable plans. And just so you know, GEBA also offers customized plans from a variety of blue chip insurance companies depending on your needs. And depending on your age, you may be appropriate for your parents to have those conversations as well. Although it's hard to eliminate debt entirely, you should limit what you owe to 10% of your net monthly income. So that's excluding your mortgage. And as I mentioned earlier, it's important for you to know your FICO score. Monitor your credit reports annually. Make sure you qualify for the lowest possible mortgage rate. Your mortgage should be limited to 28% of your monthly net income. And that includes the mortgage and the principal interest payments, taxes, insurance, and maintenance. Make sure you review your property tax assessment. There have been recent assessments that are having an increase. So be on the watch as this cost impacts your monthly budgeting. Again, know that FICO score. Monitor it for your own protection. Keep between 3 and 9 months worth of living expenses in a money market account or similar account, and it can be liquidated on a 1 day's notice in case you have to deal with the unexpected. And the amount that you keep in that emergency fund, it depends on the size of your family, whether you carry substantial debt, and what type of insurances you have. Having substantial an emergency fund keeps you from having to tap into your retirement funds or borrowing at unfavorable rates. Long-term goals may include education, home purchase, car renovation. The goal of long-term savings is to have it, to set it, and forget about it. It's a good idea to have automatic payroll deduction and transfer. What you don't see, you don't spend. Automatic payments. Again, that's pay a recurring debt to your credit card bills on specific dates, and it helps your credit score. And you can separate accounts by banks for saving, like a vacation account, a holiday account, paying down for a new home. And there are two different apps that are of interest I want to quickly touch on. It's Acorns, that invests spare change, and Capital, it has a Q in front. Savings goals, and it helps you set those based on behavioral economics. Both employ the concept of auto investing, dollar cost averaging. So first, Q Capital lets you set various rules to automate savings. For example, you can set the app so that every time you spend money, it rounds up the spare change to the nearest dollar and moves the amount into an account that's insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. You need to connect with an existing checking account to use the app, and it serves to fund various goals, right? And this automatic transfer helps you spend less than if you've budgeted for certain expenses, and it helps you transfer money if you've identified something as a guilty pleasure. You can also do lump sum investing on a regular basis, but the point is to move money automatically. So you don't have to think about those goals. You don't have to manually do it. There are modest fees, and you earn a modest amount on the accounts. It's better than nothing. Acorns rounds up your purchases, and it links with a credit card and debit card to the nearest dollar. It automatically tucks that nearest dollar away into an account. Unlike Capital, Acorns is an investing-based platform. So that means that money is invested in a portfolio based on your income and your goals, right? And you'll reap rewards on that investment. Acorns portfolio is comprised of exchange-traded funds. It has the option to go from conservative, which is like a higher percentage of bonds, to aggressive. That's like having a higher percentage of stocks. There is a monthly fee if your balance is under a certain amount. I think it's about $1 for if you're under $5,000. Anything above that, you pay a fee of 0.25% on that account balance. College students can use the service free for up to 4 years, but go ahead and check the site. If you make purchases using a card linked to your Acorns account, and you use a company's partners like Airbnb or Blue Apron, those companies give back a percentage of that purchase to your Acorn savings account. But because that money is being invested, your savings may shrink if there's a dip in the markets where you've allocated your money. Again, it's investing. So it can take several days also to withdraw your money from this account because those shares are invested in ETF funds and they are sold first. All right, do you have rules about discretionary spending? All right, this isn't about deprivation. It's about making meaning, making sure your money is going to the things that matter to you. Review your revenue, your expenses. Make sure you're able to afford that expenditure. Don't get lured into buying things because they're good deals. It's only a bargain if you really would have bought it anyway. All right, let's summarize. By following these steps, you're not only going to make the most of what you make, you appreciate what you have as well. So know your net worth. Review your credit report. Have a budget. Know where you spend that money. Check to see your payroll deductions are correct. Clean out that clutter. Look at smarter spending. Understand your benefits. As a civilian federal employee, you have access to excellent benefits, and you can complement your current benefits with other benefits to better fulfill your needs. GEBA is here to help. GEBA can help protect your livelihood and your future. We offer unbiased, salaried, and low-cost assistance with retirement planning. This benefit is available to family members too. And our contact information, you can see it there. Thank you. Thank you very much for your time and your interest today in this topic. And in order to provide excellent service to you, we kindly ask you complete the evaluation as you exit. All right, all questions that were sent in will be addressed in the coming days via email. You can always contact GEBA directly. Next up is financial planning for federal employees with my colleague, Eric Edwards. If you're unable to attend that session, all sessions will be recorded and links will be sent in follow-up communications. Thank you again, and we appreciate your time today. I am Danita Yetter with GEBA.